Hello everyone, welcome to another video for beginners, and in this one we will talk about units some more specifically the speed of fire, the speed in general, the range, the damage, and so on. First things first, and is also the most important one, which is the damage. There are 5 types of damage in this game, which are burst, sustain, area, fire, and plasma damage. There's actually a sixth called absorption, but that's only for support units and they don't really do damage, so I'm gonna ignore those. I will add a picture with all those types and everything summarized in it. So let's get straight to it with this one, sustain damage. Sustain damage is very effective against light vehicles. It is a high rate of fire, but each shot is of course low in damage, but because the rate of fire is so high, the damage is obviously good as well. It targets a single unit and there's no splash damage. Of course, with technology, with workshop, sometimes it is actually possible. I'll give an example for the burst damage. So yeah, let's do burst damage then. Okay, burst damage is this symbol, which is kind of opposite. So it's very high damage but slow rate of fire. It's very effective against heavy vehicles, and it only targets one target, and usually there's no splash damage. But as we can see, this is the escort, and let's derail a bit, yeah, why not? So let's go to the workshop and I'll show you escorts. So they got a technology called dumbfire, and as you can see, it increases the spread, the AoE. So +3 clip size as well, so that is gonna have some splash damage, and it is burst. Next up is the area damage. There we go, Sunder has it. So area damage is this symbol. It's usually a slower rate of fire, and the bullet travels slow as well. You don't really need a direct target because usually they go in an arch, so you can shoot it over a wall. You don't have to go through the wall first. It's effective against infantry, and the damage is kind of based on the amount of units that is in the splash area, of course. And it targets, well, you aim it at one unit, but it can target a bunch of units, so it's a multiple target one. I'll look at it. I'll explain that more in depth when we talk about range, because this range is where they shine. Then the next one is fire damage. Not too many units have it. It's effective against people that, well, against units that are fire weak. But in general, it's useful against infantry and also against zombies. Zombies hate the fire. They really do. They burn. So against zombies, it's the 2-use method. So as you can also see, it's a continuous damage. Yeah, not much special to it. The last one is the plasma. There's only 2 units that have it, which is basically the unit and his hero. So the Draken and his Santiago. The special thing about that is the further the plasma bolt goes, so the further the range is, the more damage it will deal. Apart from that, it's effective against pretty much everything, or it's effective against nothing. It's basically how you see it, so it doesn't really have a preference. It's not reduced by most armor types, as you can see. Okay, most of everything else is linked to what type of unit it is. If it is burst, then it's going to be a slow rate of fire. If it's sustained, then it's going to be a fast rate of fire, and so on. So let's take the sentry, which has sustained damage. The damage per second is low. Then, for example, we'll take, I don't know, let's take Annihilator. Burst damage, so the damage per second is high. Everything is kind of linked with that. You can see the speed of every unit as well. We can see what every unit is. Is it a heavy vehicle? Is it a light vehicle? Is it airborne, regular air, or is it high altitude? Or is it infantry? Like everything, just go over these symbols and you will see a lot of information. Every unit is also linked to a faction, as you can see, Sentinels, Survivor, or Corpus. And now let's go over to a very, very important part, which is the range. Range is, oh my god, so important, especially for area damage. And I get this question a lot, like how do you know how much range something is in this game? Because I mean, there's no lines, there's nothing that can actually tell us what is the range. When you do advanced scout, yeah, you can see, for example, okay, this tower has this range, but in PvE it's not easy. But I will give you a very golden trick. If you have a Darkstorm, then you will know the range roughly. And let's just show it. Okay, let's test out the range thing with Darkstorm. So this is the golden tip right here. So Darkstorm has an aura. It's gigantic. More precisely, it is 700 range. So that's how you know how much is 700 range. You just follow the aura of the Darkstorm. Maxed out turrets have a range of 750. So basic 50 range is really not much. So you stop it a little before the heavy turret. In practice, you'll exactly know when to stop. And then you know, okay, this is how far I can go. So I can't go further than this. Let's say the heavy turret is here. Like this turret is a heavy turret. Let me clear it. Then we can go till like boom here, maybe a bit further. There, done. We can't go further. That's the furthest we can go. And here is the magical trick. Oh damn it, Nick killed everything. Jug has a range of 550. So he can shoot this. See, it's not far enough, so he was safe. And because of the massive splash damage, which is 13 walls, just in case someone needed to know, you will exactly know. Like you will be able to have a bunch of, or like a lot of splash damage. Same with Nick. Nick has splash as well. So let's say this is the heavy turret. So we roughly know this is somewhat how far we can go, probably a little further. So then we can use Nick, go closer and be like, okay, let me hit this wall. He hit the wall, he also hit the building next to it. So that's gonna be super important. And that's basically it, because I can't really give you a better tip than that. So the Darkstorm aura is 700 range. You know that, that's a fact. Everything else you need to kind of practice, and with time you will know perfectly how far you can go, how far you not can go. And yeah, that is it for the range. Practice makes perfect. That's pretty much how it is. Y'all, the only thing you know, Darkstorm has 700 range. That's it. So, like a previous episode, we quickly went over it. The space. Every unit has or needs his space in a platoon. So create. So let's see this unit, 562. Like a lot of uniques are going to be around 500. And then like the vows are only 100. So you can put a lot in a tune. In the beginning there's two buildings that will like make a tune bigger and make you fit more units in a tune, and these are the storage building. Where is it? Okay, it's over here. The max level is 30, and that is kind of what you want pretty fast, like pretty soon in the game. You want it level 30, because then the capacity of a platoon will be 3000, and that is the max. So 3000 is the max, and you get that with level 30 storage. And the next one is the war factory itself. At a certain level, I'm not sure, maybe 15, 16, I think, it will reduce how much size or the capacity of each unit. It's been too long to know the numbers, but probably a jug was like 600 or 700, I don't know. So you could fit less units in a plat. But at full level, I believe it's 25% reduction, then you will be able to fit more units in a plat. So these are two buildings that you might need to research pretty fast, because that way, one, your platoon will be bigger in size, so the capacity will be bigger, and two, the units, mainly the tanks, will be less in capacity, so their size will be less, and you will be able to fit more units in a plat. So those are very, very important buildings. And this was it on the section of units. Wow, that was a big one. It was difficult, I understand, but I hope it was useful. Please like, please subscribe, and I see you guys next time. Brother, it's caught in the crossfire. It's caught in the crossfire.